Hi, welcome. Welcome to the second episode in, in the series Let's Talk episode. So in this episode, I'll be talking about something specific with a series of bill in the parliament that yeah, this is a Kenyan bill, Kenyan parliament is Kenyan issue. And with this bill in parliament, I want to talk about and I like to break it down. I like to show what it is, what it means, and what it doesn't mean. Just make sense of it. It's called the Creative Industries Bill 2024. Uh, let me read the preliminary just as it is from the bill. Actually, before we continue, this bill is in my I've posted the material on my Facebook page, Kenei. You can check it out and follow along as we go, so that we are all on the same page when we are discussing. Because I'll just be going through the document page by page, paragraph by paragraph, so that we are all you just understand it. It's a worthy investment. It's a worthy investment of my time. It's a worthy investment of the time we have this conversation, and that's why this is the second episode of Let's Talk. So this is the Creative Industries Bill 2024. This bill directly affects me. I'm a creative, this is my space, and it's affecting me directly. So let's go through it and how it's affecting me. It's called an act of parliament to nurture and support the development of creative industries, to facilitate innovation, talent, research, and entrepreneurship for the creative industries, to provide for the registration of creative industries organization and for connected purposes. That's the introduction. That's the introduction that is describing this bill. So as we go along, there will be some terminologies I'll be using and they might be big terminologies. So let me define some of these terminologies right now so that as we go along, we're all on the same page. When I say such a word, you know what it means. So it doesn't seem like I'm creating, talking jargon or big words. So some of the words I'll be using are cabinet secretary. That means the cabinet secretary for matters related to creative industries. In this bill, this is the creative industries bill. So when I say cabinet secretary, I'm talking about the cabinet secretary responsible for matters related to creative industries. When I say creative economy, I mean the knowledge-based economic activities upon which the creative industries are based. Let me repeat that. When I say creative economy, I mean the knowledge-based economic activities upon which creative industries are based. When I say creative industries, I mean the sectors that rely on the creation, production, distribution, and exploitation of intellectual property, including audiovisual arts, performing arts, visual arts, design, and literary arts. This what when I mean creative industries, we're talking about industry. This is the bill defining the word creative industries. It says it means the sectors that rely on the creation, production, distribution, and exploitation of intellectual property, which includes audiovisual arts, performing arts, visual arts, design, and literal arts. When I say creative clusters, cluster is a group. When I say creative clusters, in this bill, that means consolidation of resources into network, like partnerships of creative enterprises across several activities, both creativity and other. Let me repeat that. Means consolidation of resources into network and partnerships of creative enterprises to cross stimulate activities, boost creativity, and realize economics of scale. That's what I mean by creative trust by this document. When I say state department, it means the State Department responsible for the matters relating to the creative industries. Now, those are the definitions. Now, the objectives of this act are the following. This act, the objective it is trying to achieve, promote development of creative industry in the country, recognize, promote industries, recognize and promote creative industries as a key contributor to Kenya's culture, social and economic fabric, facilitate investment partnerships and market access to creating conducive environments, integrate and leverage creative industries in national development projects. Those are just the objectives that are stated there. So the guiding principles. I want us to go through this so that we have like an established context, an environment from which we can base our arguments from, so that we know exactly what you're talking about. This is a very important document as per this industry and many others that are in the knowledge-based economy. And I have to go step by step with this. I can't just summarize and tell you it generally say no. You have to integrate it one bit at a time. So as up to this point, we've just defined the meanings of certain words. We have stated the objectives of this act, and there are four objectives: promote development of the industry, the creative industry that is, recognize and promote industries, culture, social, and economics, facilitate investment, and integrate and leverage industries in national projects. Those are the objectives. The principles that are guiding this act for implementation. The guiding principles are promotion of an open and democratic and caring environment to enable creativity to flourish. That's the guiding principle one. Two, upholding and respecting and promoting diverse cultural heritage and traditions in the country. And number three, embracing the technological innovations and to elevate the standards in production, distribution, and consumption of creative content. So those are the guiding principles. There are three of them. Embracing the technology innovation, upholding, respecting, promoting diverse cultural heritage, promotion of open, democratic, caring environments, and all that. Now, when I say the creative industry, when I'm saying I was affected, you might ask, am I affected? Because now you have to know the scope this act is trying to touch, the scope this act touches on directly, like the targeted audience by this act. So I have to tell you, it is written here. There are some of them. That is including visual arts, crafts, including drawing, painting, sculpture, printmaking, photography, and indigenous crafts. Those are the visual arts. Those are the people that are affected. That's the first group. Second is performing arts, which includes music, dance, theater, live performance. Those are the performing arts. Literary arts, written works such as novels, poetry, essay, publishing, all that. Design and creative services, which involves fashion, graphic design, interior design, architectural design, audiovisual arts, that is the film, television, video, multimedia, digital art. That's where I fall, and also fall in other places. Now, the act shall not apply to aspects related to intellectual property rights. In terms of the patents and the trademarks. It doesn't affect that, but now it affects these groups. So these are contradictions of the intellectual property, because most of these things are under intellectual property rights. So when you say it does not affect aspects related to intellectual property rights, which aspects? It's vague in that sense, because which aspects is it not affecting? Because these are aspects of intellectual property rights. Because when I write an essay that is, or a poetic word or a script, like patent it or copyright it. So that's an intellectual property rights. So it doesn't affect the intellectual property rights. It affects the script. So what is the argument there? So yeah, that's that. Let's go. As you think about that, let's continue. With the administrative provisions. Now, this is the part two of the act. The cabinet. I want you to listen to this very carefully, word for word, because now this is starting to get interesting. You're starting to see now the tricks. The cabinet secretary shall formulate and implement a creative industries development plan. Let me repeat that. The cabinet secretary shall formulate and implement a creative industries development plan. Now, let's continue. The second part of that provision, the administrative provision, is the creative industries development plan may may the following: one, set out the objectives, targets, strategies, and activities of the development and promotion of the creative industries. That's the things that they may do. Define the goals of the industries. That's, when you talk about an industry, you already know what the creative industry is as per this document. If you remember the previous part, let me just recap it for you so that I can make this point that I'm going to put across in a minute. The creative industry is sectors that relate to the creation, production, distribution, station. These the sectors that relate to the creation, production, distribution, and exploitation of intellectual property. Pause it there. The creative industry development plan that is going to be created by the cabinet secretary is going to set out the objectives of the people. Let's say, for let me just an example, in the film industry, it's going to set out the targets of the people in the film industry and the strategies and the activities, the development plan and promotion of the creative industries. That's one. It's going to define the goals for the music industry that is part of the creative industry. I'm just using examples to substitute the word creative industries, so that you can get the points that I'm trying to make. It's going to define the goals for the music industries, including value creation, job creation, market creation, and expansion. Number three is going to outline some financial assistance program, investment schemes, grantees in the creative industry. I know that sounds good, but let's hold that thought. Remember that good point that I've just pointed out right now, because later on you're going to see the catch 101. So the the third point in the creative development plan is outline the financial assistance programs, investment schemes, and guarantees in the creative industries. The fourth point, and that's now the final in the creative development plan, is set up the technical and technological programs for the development and the commercialization services developed and generated by the creative industries. Now, listen to this very carefully so that you don't miss don't get lost in the jargon, the big words that are being used. Set out technical and technological programs for the development and commercialization services generated by the film industry. Are you hearing what that is trying to tell you? Because the way I'm saying it is they're setting out a technical and technological program for the development and commercialization services that are generated by the music industry. Okay, let's continue. Let's continue. The memorandum of the objectives and reasons. The cabinet secretary may classify the creative industry into subsectors based on the strategic consideration, such as the technical components, the working groups, or the efficient execution of the act. So now, when this act is being implemented, there's going to be some classification based on some strategic consideration by the cabinet secretary. So now this idea is like the creatives are going to be doing the creativity if it is in accordance of the strategic considerations made by the cabinet secretary. If the creative industry doesn't is doing something that is going against the strategic consideration of the cabinet secretary, then that means the creative industry is going astray. So in a sense, it is like the creative industry is no longer free to be creative because there's some limitations that it has to be under the limits of the strategic considerations that is from the cabinet secretary. As according to the Creative Industries Bill 2024. Let's continue. It's starting to get interesting. Take note of that because now that will come later to see how that is being used. So now, these are things the State Department shall do. You know, shall is a fact will do. It's just like it's a must. It's not like may. You know, we have to take note of this wording because these are official documents. This is not me reading my own written letters or essays. These are official documents. So the words used is intention. It's not by accident or some grammar mistakes. So now, these are the things the State Department shall do. One, strengthen the local, regional, international cooperation between the cooperation frameworks on creative industries. To strengthen the local, regional, and international cooperation frameworks on creative industries, establish an appropriate infrastructure, creative works development, establish an appropriate infrastructure for creative works development, collaborate with public and private funding partners in creative industry related activities, promote development of creative industries in all areas in the country, develop quality assurance standards for the creative industry, develop quality assurance standards for the creative industry. I want to repeat that for the third time. Develop quality assurance standards for the creative industry. Design and implement suitable marketing strategies for effective promotion of the creative and cultural industries. You've taken note of the points that are highlighted in the things the State Department shall do according to this act, according to this bill. This is a bill. It's the Creative Industries Bill 2024. Uh, let's continue. Let's continue going for the step by step. There's no rush. There's no rush. The Cabinet Secretary may, by notice in the Kenya Gazette, assign a function of a state department. What's the function of a state department by this document? In fact, it's starting to get interesting now. The Cabinet Secretary may by notice in the Kenya Gazette assign a function of a state department. Another function of a state department. I've mentioned them. There are six of them. The first one is strengthening the cooperation framework on creative industries, that is, frameworks from the local, region, international. Establish infrastructure of cooperative industry, which is a red flag for me, first of all. collaborate with public-private funding partners for creative industries related activities, promote development of creative industries in all areas in the country, develop quality assurance standards for the creative industry, red flag, and design and implement suitable marketing strategies for effective promotion. So now any of these functions can be assigned to any state department by the cabinet secretary through a notice in the Kenyan Gazette, and the ministry may be responsible ministry to the responsible authority to implement that function. Just assign this function from this all these things the state department that can do. They can now give it to me. Say, for example, the Ministry of Interior. They take maybe the quality assurance standards, and maybe the Ministry of what Ministry of uh, will take marketing. I don't know the ministry that will do BD, but you can give example that any of this function can be sub functions that can be given to another state department. Now, the cabinet secretary shall notify assigned agencies of its designation and responsibilities and shall outline the specific objectives, tasks, and parameters under which it shall operate. So now, you see, currently as it is, without this bill, industries are free because the constitution dictates that there is a freedom of expression. And so I can make this video right now, not offend anyone for as long as I'm being responsible with my words in terms of offensive words. You know, there's just some offensive words that are not pleasant to anyone's ears. And that means that with this bill, there are certain strategic consideration, word from there, strategic consideration. Another one is there are certain uh, what was the other one? There are certain parameters assigned objectives that have to be considered and shall operate. The assigned responsibility shall be accountable to the cabinet secretary for the execution, performance, and adherence. Uh, the assigned responsible authority shall be accountable to the cabinet secretary for the execution, performance, and adherence to the mandate in this act. The cabinet secretary shall revoke assignment of any responsible authority. These are just like the powers of the cabinet secretary. But you get the idea that the current state as it is, the industry is free of any control. You know, creative industry is not like any other industry that you can regulate, that you can control in the sense of define the system of how it operates. I mean, that's not how it works. But the idea of this is that the cabinet secretary will now be architecturing a development plan, which there are things in that creative industry development plan. There are things that she may do, like define the goals for the creative industries. We tell you now the goals are these. You can't make things that are like this. You can't produce this kind of music because that's against the goal. The goal of the current creative industry development plan is this and this. So you can't make this, or you can't talk like this, or you can't hold this kind of interviews because this kind of interviews are going against the creative development plan. You get the idea. So in a sense, they are trying to get a grip of the industry, that is the creative industry, and make it sing, the song that they want it to sing. And to me, it's a big red flag in the sense that now there will be nothing like free speech in this country. That will just be like a something written on the constitution for sure, but not reality because now what is free speech if the information itself is defined to achieve certain goals, and those goals are designed by the people who are sitting in the office, the cabinet secretary, who are nominated by the president. So in a sense, the president is designing the goals for the creative industry. And how can that be when the creative industry itself is different? And how can one person control an industry, a creative industry that is so diverse, so big? I mean, those are the kind of red flags that I'm trying to point out as per this written, well written but hidden meanings that are trying to jeopardize the current freedom in the creative industry. Let's continue. Let's finish this document so that you can go and listen and read on your own and try and see if maybe I'm having the wrong perspective. Maybe you can enlighten me. I don't know. So we were in this point where the cabinet may revoke their saying. So now we're in the part three of this bill. In part three, it now talks about the supportive measures for the creative industries. The measures that are going to support the industries that are going to do to support these industries. Let's now go from the State Department. Now, the State Department may, I know, the State Department shall provide the necessary infrastructure support for the creative economy. Creative economy. Remember that word. Let's go back so that you can understand what that means. And previously said in the beginning, the creative economy. Uh-huh. Knowledge-based economic activities. That's the creative economy. Knowledge-based economic activities. This is the definition as per this bill. So when they say the creative economy, they're saying the knowledge-based economic activities. What is it about now? The State Department shall provide necessary infrastructure to support the creative economy and may the following things. One, avail subsidized rental schemes to studios, venues, and other space tailored to the operations of the creative industries. So it's like they'll come to you in your studio and tell you, let's just give you subsidized rent. I don't know if that's practical because how can you give subsidized rent to studios? How many studios are there? And how can you, like, I don't know. So avail subsidized rental schemes for studios and venues. Venues maybe it may work because like, lakini huru city free. I don't know. Let's question mark. These are question marks I'm leaving so that you can dig deep in the meanings of these things. The second one is provide co-working space equipped with amenities for vital promoting collaboration and growth in the marketing industries. Co-working space, set up dedicated centers for training aimed at enhancing the skills and productivity of creatives. If you notice, there's some good things, but these good things are sandwiched among many bad things. And that's the idea. That's the idea. When you look at one thing at a time, that's when you see it. That's why I'm going to step by step. Uh, the fourth one, offer digital infrastructure including the internet of connectivity, cloud services, content distribution platform. It's a good thing. Offer digital infrastructure. But how will the creative industry offer digital infrastructure? This digital infrastructure are already in the market. So like what are they offering? Which company is going to offer? Because the State Department is going to create a server. If they didn't even manage to create a server from a server IBC, How will they create a server for us and open it for? Yeah. You know, these are just some dilemmas and some fancy promises that have no substantiating value because they don't seem practical. It's like the laptops they promised for the kids. Does your kid have laptops? Currently, the teachers are striking. Does your kid have laptops? So this like saying offer digital infrastructure including internet connectivity. Safaricom is currently offering internet connectivity. So what are they offering? Is it the same one that was saying that itapita kwa stima kwa Kenya Power? So yeah, let's continue. Let's continue. Uh, let me just repeat that from the last time. Offer digital infrastructure including internet connectivity, cloud services, content distribution platforms. So like the last part, content distribution platforms. See, like we have YouTube, we have already this platform that are already present. So are they going to create some new platform? Or have they already created a new platform? Or is this bill the new platform? I mean, what's all this idea? And is this platform going to be the only platform allowed, or is it going to be other platform also? These are question marks in terms of this. Now let me move to the next one. Support the development of exhibition, performance, and showcase venues, include inclusive of logistical support for events and festivals. They support the development of exhibition, performance, exhibition, and it's a good thing. Where they don't have an exhibition, let's say there's an event, you put and support that places, some funding, some stage and all that showcasing venues, and festival logistics support and for events and festivals. Initiate facilities that support research, development, and innovation, allowing for the creation and refinement of creative projects. Let me repeat that. Initiate facilities that support research, development, and innovation, along, allowing for the creation and refinement of creative projects. So ni ile kulaunch. Tunasema wata initiate facilities. So ni ile wanakuja na launch. Na hizo facilities itakuwa ina support research, development, and innovation, the allowing for the creation and refinement of creative projects. Establish production facilities. Here's now the first one is to initiate facilities. You need to establish production facilities, including recording studios, spaces suitable for visual art design and fashion. The the seventh one, avail shared service facilities for collective use, such as machinery, equipment, tools, facilitate access to incubation accelerator programs for providing resource, mentorship, guidance for budding venture within the creative industries. You see, there's some good things that are sandwiched among very bad things so that they can secretly sneak them in. And while they're selling you on the idea of this good, they're secretly sneaking in something very bad. And that's why I'm doing this one alone. An innovator within the creative industry shall be entitled to access financial assistance from the fund established under the Science, Technology and Innovation Act 2013. Uh, that's a clause. Let's go to the next sub clause in that. A person shall be eligible for financial assistance under the subsection if the person one advances projects aimed at resolving specific challenges in the creative industries through the appropriate scientific and technological intervention. Two, seeking to expedite the adoption of commercialization of innovations developed within the creative industries. Those are the conditions that grant somebody to be entitled to financial assistance. Now, the 11th part. The State Department, this 11th clause, the State Department shall establish a creative voucher system. The State Department shall establish a creative voucher system to provide targeted support and aid and incentives to creative industries with a focus on micro, small, and medium enterprises. Now, let me repeat that. It's the first. So it's a subclause 1, clause 11. The State Department shall establish a creative voucher system to provide targeted support, aid, and incentives to creative industries with focus on micro, small, and medium enterprises. The subclause goes further to say, the second subclause, the the creative voucher system shall one provide voucher addressing in the industry's diverse needs, including training, equipment, and marketing. Review and adapt vouchers to the creative industry's changing needs. Partner with private entities, international bodies, stakeholders to, to enhance its reach and effectiveness. Now, this is where it gets interesting about the voucher system that's going to be established. It is the creative voucher system. The third subclause in between the second subclause and the third subclause, there's a statement there. It says the principal object of the bill is to foster the growth, development of the creative industries in Kenya. It aims to establish a legal and institution. It aims to establish a legal and institution, and it pauses there. Say the principal object of the bill is to foster growth, development of the creative industries in Kenya. It aims to establish a legal and institutional. It pauses there. Now, this is a statement in between the subclause 3, 2 and 3 of clause 11. Now the subclause 3 says a recipient of the creative voucher system shall be entitled to avail a specified support, aid, and incentives from the relevant government agencies entitled to some support. Okay. This fourth subclause says the Cabinet Secretary shall formulate administrative guidelines governing the issuance, utilization, and management of the creative voucher system. So all of these nice things you've been hearing, all of these that are entitled to that, entitled to this, all of these falls under the cabinet secretary formulating the guidelines. And you see these guidelines, this is a political person, political appointee. This is not an independent person. This is a political appointee. And with a political appointee having the mandate to formulate an administrative guideline governing this issuance of utilization management of the creative voucher system. This is a hook. That's how I say it. This is a hook. Clause 12. The government shall establish measures. Clause 12, subclause 1. The government shall establish measures to enhance access to credit entities within the creative industries. Let me repeat that. Government shall establish measures to enhance access to credit entities in the creative industries. That's a good thing. It goes further to say the second subclause in issuance of subsection 1 or in pursuance of subsection 1, the government shall 1 collaborate with affiliated financial institutions to manage credit facilities tailored to the unique needs of creative industries. There's like collaboration with the credit companies, institute framework, frameworks recognizing and traditional collateral and business models characteristic of the creative sector. Creative sector, go back to the beginning of what it means. Promote financial literacy programs specific to the creative industry to bolster financial management and creditworthiness. Advocate for the establishment of a guarantee funds aimed at incentivizing financial institutions to extend credit to creative sectors in like a guarantee fund that incentivizes. That's why they can give you a loan because it's a fund. Yeah. Okay. Engaging international financial partners to harness best practices financial support for creative industries. These are clause two, and these like the conditions that the government. These are like the things the government shall do under the pursuance of the enhancing the creative measures. Subclause 3 says the prioritization of creative industries under this section shall be effectuated in adherence to extant rules of the respective financial institutions. Okay, let me repeat that the subclause because is yeah, the priority is the prioritize, prioritization of the creative industries under this section shall be effectuated in adherence to the exact rules of the respective financial institutions. That is closing the 12th clause. Now, the 13th clause, the designation of creative clusters. Now, this is what it says. The Cabinet Secretary may, by notice in the Kenya Gazette, designate certain areas as creative clusters. Remember the definition earlier, I defined what creative clusters as per this bill is. And let me just repeat it right here because you need to understand what this bill means when it says a creative cluster. This is what it says. Creative clusters means consolidation of resources into networks and partnerships of creative enterprises to cross-stimulate activities, boost creativity, and realize economies of scale. So any kind of partnerships and networks and all those of creative enterprises, that's a creative cluster. So say in this case, the cabinet secretary may by notice in the Kenya Gazette designate certain areas as creative clusters, considering one, the density of creative entities. How many creative entities are in that particular place? The potential of the sectoral growth. What is the potential of that sectoral growth? And the strategic value to the national and regional economies. Remember that strategic consideration. Here it is again. Their strategic value to the national and regional economy. So these are the things the cabinet secretary will be considering when creating clusters. And the second subclause in this designation of creative clusters is a designated creative cluster shall be eligible to targeted fiscal incentives, including tax reliefs and grants to foster innovation and collaboration. The same prioritize infrastructure support to ensure its sustainable development and operational efficiency. That's all about that. And now it goes further to say the creative development hubs. The State Department shall establish creative development hubs in strategic locations across the country. In the second subclause, the creative development hub shall be established a provide access to essential resources, tools, and equipment for the creatives, offer training, mentorship, capacity building programs, facilitate interaction, collaboration, partnership within the sector, showcase and promote local creatives and to a wider audience, both domestically and internationally. And the third subclause is the State Department shall advocate for private sector investment sponsorship grants for the creative hubs. For the creative hubs, what's a creative hub? Creative hub, the State Department shall establish creative development hubs in strategic locations. And now here it says the State Department shall advocate for private sector investments, sponsorship, and grants for the creative hubs. The Cabinet Secretary responsible for education shall formulate implementation policy measures to A, ensure the inclusion and promotion of talent and skills training in the creative fields within the curricula of educational establishments. B, foster collaboration with industry practitioners and stakeholders in the development and delivery of relevant training programs. And C, equip the educational establishments with necessary resources and facilities to enhance the quality of and scope of creative education. Those are the three things the cabinet secretary responsible for education shall formulate and implement policies measures to. Cabinet secretary responsible for education. This is now the cabinet secretary of education. Ensure inclusion, promotion of talent, skills, training, creativeness in the curricula. This is the CBC in short. Now let's go on. National Treasury may 1. Issue bonds to raise capital specifically for the development of the creative sector in Kenya. Now, here is where after all of the sneaky ways and all of these, after all I've had, now this creative sector in Kenya needs money. Now, now it's taken as a development project to raise capital through issuing of bonds. And B, the National Treasury may sanction dedicated crowdfunding platforms for creative entities to allow such entities to present projects and secure funding based on project feasibility. The National Treasury may sanction dedicated crowdfunding platforms for creative entities to allow such entities to present projects and secure public funding based on project feasibility. So in short, this idea of Morara on top of this vehicle telling us the truth and him being funded by us Kenyans is no longer going to be allowed. It's going to be sanctioned so that the creative entity can apply, present the projects, and secure public funding based on project feasibility. That's a big red flag. Big red flag. That's the 16th clause. The 17th clause. Cabinet Secretary for National Treasury shall establish Creative Industries Development Fund, whose purpose shall be to support and the promotion, development, and growth of the creative industry. Let me repeat that. Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury shall establish the Creative Industries Development Fund, whose purpose shall be to support promotion, development, and growth in the creative industry. So why would you need a fund while the government was saying they were going to the same document? They're saying that they are going to partner with financial institutions so that they can find a way of giving for the financial institution to give creative industries capital through them guaranteeing. So here they're saying now they're going to create a creative industry development fund whose purpose will be to support promotion, development, and growth in the creative industry. And this is the same thing twice, same thing in different languages. I don't see the point because now this fund will be another scheme to be. Yes, it's a question, it's a red flag. Clause 18. The State Department, the State Department shall collaborate with public-private partnership directorates to promote the formation of public-private partnerships for the purpose of developing the creative industries sector. Let me repeat that. The State Department shall collaborate with the public-private partnership directorates to promote formation of public-private partnerships for the purpose of developing the creative industry sector. Clause 19. The State Department shall establish the Creative Economy Information System and Portal. Now, here is an interesting one. Very interesting clause. I told you, this thing, they're throwing in something nice and then bundling with a lot of bad things. And then throwing one thing nice, bundling with a, and then when they do the marketing, they'll tell you only the nice ones. And they'll tell you, go and confirm. It's there. But you won't have the time to also see that there's a lot of bad things that have been well placed inside there, hidden. They thought they can get away with it, but now, thanks to civic education, now it's known. This thing is not a good thing. Let's go to clause 19. Let me start again. The State Department shall establish the Creative Economy Information System and Portal. That's the first subclause in clause 16, clause 19. The second subclause is the functions of the system and portal shall include your portal umetengeneza now. Think of it like compass, that portal ya chuo. The function of that portal is one. And these are for the creatives. Now, one, compiling and maintaining a directory of creative enterprises and organizations in Kenya. So every creative organization and enterprise shall have to be in that portal. You have to have an account in that portal. Whether we ni nani, we ni msanii mgani, au kutoka wapi, unaiba, regardless of who you are a writer, you're an artist, you're a poet, you're a what, you have to have an account in that portal. This portal is called the Creative Economy Information System and Portal. And now they'll be compiling and maintaining a directory of creative enterprises and organizations, providing details of government policies and initiatives in support of the creative sector. Now, once you're in that portal, they'll be providing you with the details of government policies and initiatives in support of the creative sector. Remember this. Remember the details that we're talking about here. Remember those details. Yeah, they'll be giving those details. Now, the third thing, they'll be offering online resources for training and development for those engaged in creative pursuits. They'll be offering online resources for training and development for those engaged in creative pursuits. The fourth one, provide verified information, thereby promoting transparency, increased awareness, informed decision making within the Kenya's creative industries. They'll provide that portal, verified information, thereby promoting transparency. Verified by who? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Verified information, thereby promoting transparency, increased awareness. and informed decision making within Kenya's creative industries. The fifth one, disseminating information on available funding and platforms for investors in the creative sector. Sixth one, providing a platform for creative enterprises to display products and services. Seventh one, highlight a calendar of events to the relevant creative sector. All those things there. The final part is a platform. You see, these are things that are not existent. Not like they're saying that we have it's here and they're saying these are. And remember, the compilation of all these is so as they can enforce the previous clauses, the previous red flags. This is clause 19. There is so many, clause 1 to 18. There's so many red flags before that. But for them to enforce them, they have to compile and maintain a directory of all enterprises in organization can. And that's through the portal. And then all these other enforcement policies and all that are going to enforce their clause 20. The State Department shall establish one-stop creative service centers which shall serve as a focal point for essential regulatory services pertinent to creative entities. I don't know if you heard me there. The State Department shall establish one-stop creative service centers which shall serve as a focal point for essential regulatory services pertinent to creative entities. The creative service centers may, this is the second, this is the same clause 20, subclause 2. The creative service center may facilitate a intellectual property registration. Now this state department will establish a one-stop creative service center, one-stop, no other, a monopoly, a monopoly creative service center, which shall serve as a focal point for essential regulatory services pertinent to creative entities. The second subclause is the creative service center may facilitate intellectual property registration. In that same one, that same monopoly service center, these are things that they do. Intellectual property registration. Right now we have several. There's Kikubo, there are different regulatory frameworks whereby you register different issues because different industries are different. The way you register, the way you copyright uh, a script is not the same way you patent a design. It's not the same way you copyright music. It's not the same way you trademark a name. It's not the same way you. These are different things, and these are they require different regulatory frameworks. But with this bill, there'll be one monopoly framework called the Creative Service Center, which shall provide the intellectual property registration, product and business registration for creative entities, assistance with regulatory compliance, access to loans, grants, and benefit programs specifically designed for the creative industries, provision of any government services required by entities within the creative sector. So here is where everything is going to be. Everything. Remember that portal that we started with at clause 19. This is where it continues. Clause 21. Persons in creative industries are encouraged to A, use their platforms and creative and creations to enhance public awareness of environmental concerns. Now these are the things. Once you're in the portal, now this is the recipe now. for your art and your creative endeavors. You can't now go there and say, Gori, Gori. No, no offense. I'm just saying that if you can't express your own art in the way you see fit because now they're in a portal called the Creative Service Center. And in this portal, you have to adhere by the terms and conditions. Ama utatujwa. And if you're not in the portal, you're not allowed to do several things in this jurisdiction because this is the constitution now in the terms of creative industries. But now here are the terms and conditions. You have to use your platform and creations to enhance public awareness on environmental concerns. You have to pursue carbon neutral operations with a focus on reducing emissions, greenhouse gas emissions. So wewe mwenye una shoot video na unapika chakula na jiko, wewe unaharibu greenhouse ama unatumia fan. Unajua stima inaharibu inatumia green energy. Okay, let's continue. We have to pursue carbon neutral operations with a focus on reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Number three, they have to adopt best practices to minimize adverse environmental impacts arising from their activities. They have to adopt the best practices. Now, which are these best practices? And who gets to decide them? Is it you or me? Is it my business or your business? Is it our business? Is this my business, your business, or our business? Because now, can you tell me you're supposed to adopt the best practices to minimize adverse environmental impacts? Okay, of course, yeah, I have to do that. Environment has to be protected, arising from the activities. Yeah, that's true. Integrate and prioritize climate change, adaptation, mitigation measures in the initiatives. But see, all of these things are all environmental. But how do you connect them with the creative industry? Maybe through this sculpting, but yeah, there's a lot of question marks in terms of how and why this and the relevance. Okay, it agrees and prioritize climate change, adaptation, and mitigation measures in their initiatives and actively reduce waste generation, placing emphasis on recycling. And that's very true. The fifth one, that's very true. Let's continue. Subclause 2 on clause 21 is a person in the creative industries who demonstrates a commitment to environmental sustainability in their operation shall be eligible to incentives which may include fiscal, technical support towards public recognition awards and commendations. You see, now these are part of the clauses that are considered in terms of the financial support and all that. It's not just a matter of how it was stated vaguely earlier, but it is spread out. The conditions that are these financial incentives are these all these incentives that are coming has been spread out across the document so that you see that there are two conditions here and then continue another clause, you find another condition, continue you find another condition, find another condition, so that you don't get the concentrated in all the conditions all in one place. Now, this is subclause 2 of clause 21. Clause 22 states, in recognition of the significant contributions of the creative industries to socio-economic fabric of Kenya, the month of September each year, this month, is hereby designated as the Kenya's Creative Industries Month. So according to the bill, this Creative Industries Month. The month-long celebration aims to promote the goods, products, and services emanating from the creative industries in Kenya, elevate public awareness about the role of creative industries in national development, foster collaboration among stakeholders, both public and private, to advance the interests of the creative sector. Subclause 3 states the cabinet, the state department shall a oversee and ensure the successful observance of the creative industries month. This is the department shall collaborate with private entities and academic institutions to curate events, activities, and programs in line with the celebrations in accordance with this act, detailing the specific modalities, mechanisms for the commendation. Clause 23. The government shall introduce a rebate system for the creatives with the aim to stimulate investment in the creative industries. Shall introduce a rebate system. Sorry, what's the word rebate? Let me just confirm it. What's the word rebate mean? A rebate system. Rebate. A particular refund to someone who has paid too much for tax, rent, or a utility. Okay, so here the government will introduce a rebate system for creative with the aim to stimulate investment in the creative industries, encourage entities to foster new talent through appreciation programs and sector-specific training, alleviate the financial burdens associated with industry development. Clause 2 is registered entities with the creative industries shall be eligible for a cashback rebates on qualifying expenditure made within the sector. Qualifying expenditure. What is qualifying expenditure? And who is qualifying them? And how and in what detail? This is subsection B in subsection 2 is special incentives for innovations and pioneering incentives that align with national creative vision. Clause 3 goes an entity offering verified apprenticeship program or training tailored for the creative sector may receive designated repeat and associated apprenticeship costs, qualify for additional financial incentives based on the scale, quality, and impact of their programs. Those are the administration issues. Now we're going to part 4 of the document. In part 4 of this document, we are mostly focusing on the registration of creative industry organization. Bear with me, I know I've been going for a long conversation. This is a document I want you to really understand because I'm really going to tell you bit by bit. Some parts I may be overlooking or focusing on the wrong part, and you can always refer to the document. It's in my profile, by the way, on my Facebook profile, Kenei. Can get these documents. I've taken some screenshots. They're there. You can go through them, read them on your own. Tell me what you think in the comment section. And as you continue, yeah, this is part 4. And in part 4, it's about the registration of creative industries, of creative industry organizations. Clause 24, it starts. There should be there shall be established a public service commission, the office of the creative industries registrar. Currently as it is, the registrar of companies registers all entities, also those in the creative industries, so we can do business. Normally, there's no problem. So just like any other business person. But now, through this act, there will be a separate that shall be established within the Public Service Commission, the Office of the Creative Industries Registrar. The Creative Industries Registrar shall be responsible for a registering creative industries organizations, B. Providing administration of the registered organization. The creative administrative currently as it is, any company registering their own company, they're the one who decides their own administration framework, their own company policy and all that, for as long as it's in accordance with the Constitution of Kenya. But here, in this sense, Creative Industries Registrar shall provide administration of the registered organization, shall facilitate timely and efficient dispute resolution among creatives and registered organizations to resolve conflicts, shall facilitate collaborations and consultatives for, between entities, public and the private sector, shall convey public periodic events to foster the collaboration among the creatives, carrying out any other function pertaining to the registration of creative industry organization. So all this dispute resolution will be done here. Remember, as it is, they're not done here. Any company that has a dispute is the other. They either litigate or negotiate. But here now there'll be a separate dispute resolution committee. I don't know how will be doing it. I don't know about clause 25. The registrar shall register creative industries organization, which may include creative industries umbrella bodies, creative clubs, or any other creative organizations. Subclause 2, clause 25. An application for registration and the operation of a creative industry organization shall be in the manner as may be prescribed. An application for registration and the operation of a creative industry organization. The operation of a creative industry organization. Let me repeat that statement one more time because I want you to get the gravity of it as it is. An application for registration and the operation of a creative industry organization shall be in the manner as may be prescribed. Let us think in clause 26. There shall be established within this Public Service Commission of the service of the Registrar of Creative Industries. There shall be established within the Public Service Commission of the Office of the Registrar of Creative Industries. And there will be a separate office created. In this austerity measures, there will be another office created of the Office of the Registrar of Creative Industries. And they'll do the above issues that I've been pointing out all along. And the Registrar of Creative Industries shall be responsible for registration of creative industries, providing administration and management of the office, timely and efficient facilitation of dispute resolution among creatives and registered organizations. Now, registered organizations are different from creative organizations. This is like they're now isolating the creatives from now not going into the companies like the normal companies go. Now they're different. Now they're not called companies, they're called creative companies. Just like a direct attack on the creative industry by isolation, divide and conquer. Now, carrying out any function pertaining to registration of the creative industries. Clause 27. The registrar shall register creative industries organization, which may include creative industries umbrella bodies, creative clubs, or any other creative organization. An application of a creative organization shall be prescribed. An application for registration and organization and the operation of creative organization shall shall prescribed by regulations. Yeah. Let me repeat that. Doesn't like it's like they're saying it in an awkward way. An application for registration and the operations of a creative industries organization shall prescribed by regulation. And they'll work according to the regulation. all the rules that have been given now, according to this bill. General provision, this is the part 5, I think the final part. And just a summary of what we've been talking about and some regulations. The Cabinet Secretary shall make regulations for better carrying into effect the provision of this Act. There'll be regulation that will be made by the Cabinet Secretary. Remember, the Cabinet Secretary is a nominee of the government, of the president. So that means these are political appointees. They'll be making regulations with effect to the industry. So the industry will never be stable because as the way the election cycle happens, also the creative economy is affected by the election cycles because this is not a stable issue because the cabinet secretary makes rules and different people will make different rules. Why? Because now it's getting exploited. Sub close to despite the generality, even them they know it's general because now they're saying it's they're actually acknowledging it's the general because in the saying that the cabinet secretary shall make regulation for better carrying into effect the provision of research. It's just generally saying it. It's like saying now you have all mandate to do anything you want. And now this is a political appointee, this is a political position. This can just this will be never stable. I say despite that generality, the cabinet secretary may prescribe a the criteria may prescribe a the criteria for determination of a classifiable creative industries product may classify the criteria for determination through the criteria. This is how we classify people, the criteria. This is a political appointee telling you the criteria. Huyu jamaa aliniongelea vibaya, ati kila saa zakayoshuka. Criteria, acha naeka hiyo kando. Huyu kila saa anasema sijui nini kwa matatu. Huyu aka huyu kando. Huyu sijui anasema anything. That's like a criteria. It's a political appointee giving out the criteria for determination of classifiable creative industries products. Kama si classifiable, hiyo toa. This is a political appointee. And this is a creative industry. So what are they saying? Subclause B. Guidelines on collaboration with education establishment and relevant bodies for the promotion of training and capacity building within the creative industry. This is what are prescribed the guidelines. The Cabinet Secretary will prescribe the guidelines in collaboration with education establishment and relevant bodies for the promotion of training, capacity building within the creative industry. Cabinet secretaries may prescribe the codes of practice for the respective category of creatives. Codes of practice. Codes of a cabinet secretary can tell you how to sing na hajaitwa ngoma. But he can tell you the codes of practice in singing is this and this. You don't sing like this. Cabinet secretary can tell you how to write na hajaandika book. I'm telling you the codes of practice of writing is this and this. You see, like this, it's like this is colonization. Let's continue. Establishment of mechanism and procedures for resolving disputes. The cabinet secretary may prescribe the establishment of mechanism and procedures for resolving disputes arising from matters provided for under this act. So disputes under matters in this act are not going to court because this thing does not stand in court. They know it. This is an illegal document. It doesn't substantiate in court. So they are going to create their own court that are going to deal with matters in this issue. Now, how can you? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what these guys are doing. This thing is just. It's the way it's designed, the way it is being presented. There is no good intention for the creative industry. This is like a punch back because the creative industries have been very critical of the government. This is now the government punching back. The establishment of mechanisms and procedures for resolving disputes arising from matters provided for under the frameworks and support matters. Now, this act has five parts. Now let's just this is now a summary. We've had a very lengthy conversation. This is like a 1 hour plus conversation. Very lengthy conversation. And I'm grateful for you for being here till this point. Now just to classify to just summarize what you've been listening all along so that you get the idea of if you want to go reading, which part will you like to focus on, which part you like to understand better and do your own digging. These are the parts. There are five parts in this bill, the Creative Industries Bill. Part one is the preliminaries. My tongue is a little heavy. Preliminaries, and it has the definition of the terminologies. This means this means this, the big words that you hear and define there. The part two is the administrative provisions. Administrative provision is not the administrative like the creative industries development plan or this like the infrastructure design, all of that. That's part two. Part three, the supportive measures for creative industries. They're telling me I'll give you this, but I'll take this and give you this. It's like, part four is the registration creative industries. This is where they're taking you now. You're no longer part of any, just any organization. They're isolating you from other organization, giving you your own registrar, and giving you a lot of rules that are different, even your own court to deal with your own disputes. It's like isolation, this classic discrimination by description. Because I'm a creative now, I'm discriminated. I'm no longer treated like any other person because I'm a creative, and that's not fair. Because now, how can you discriminate a creative and yet the creative is the person that is making world be more better in many different ways that cannot be even substantiated with words. Part four, that's the registration. Part five, the general provisions. This bill This bill was written by Ababu Namwamba. It has it was written when he was the Ministry of Youth Affairs, Future Economy and Sports, the Cabinet Secretary this year. It is being tabled in Parliament. It's going to be an act very soon. And I'm doing my part in doing civic education so that you can do your part in public participation. And me, my message to you is this: reject this thing from the word go. This is nonsense because this is just in a way trying to manhandle the creative industry and the creative economy and just ruin it the way they've ruined the economy, the other economy. Because they're now seeing the creative economy is growing, and they don't want it to grow because it will make it clear that the economy is ruined. They want to ruin this one too, and that's not fair. This is our country, and we have to defend our country. And you have to everyone has a right. Not all organizations have a right same way to invent the same codes. And it's not about segregation and then now discrimination. Tell a friend to tell a friend. I've been your storyteller and your guest and your host, Kenei. This is Let's Talk series, season 1, episode 2. I invite you to stick around. If you feel you like you to contribute, buy me coffee. I don't know, do something nice to me. I'll leave my number in the description below. And yeah, see you in the next one. Cheers.